Ken in Kitchener, Ontario. Go ahead, please.
David, my question is in regards to Descartes Systems. I'd just like your thoughts on it. About a month ago, it hit I think an all-time high at around $55, and since then it's pulled back a fair bit.
Yep.
And I was just wondering what your thoughts are. And Andrew, if I could have the street consensus on it.
Descartes Systems, it is.
Okay, so John, another secular growth stock, right? A company supplying services and analytics into logistics companies, and they have done a great job of growing this business. It has been one of the great Canadian growth stocks. If you look at what's been happening on a quarter-by-quarter basis since sort of halfway through 2017, revenue growth has accelerated from sort of 13-14% to north of 20% for the upcoming quarter. So this is fueling move in the share price. Again, this is a company that has been disrupting the way that people do business, and they've been doing it for a long time. So as in any secular growth stock, there is a risk of disappointment at any point in time. That can happen. But I like transports. I don't believe we are headed into some major slowdown in the economy. I think that we're more likely to have soft landing and reacceleration later in the year. I think that's what some of the key sectors are telling us. And so this is a company I think can continue to do quite well.
The analysts, they seem a bit divided on it. There are 9 buys, but there are 4 holds and 1 sell. Average target $56, and the stock is around $8 lower than that right now at around $48. Thanks for that question. We have an email from John in Ottawa, wants to know about Nutrien. I'm a long-time holder.
Yep. So look, Nutrien with various business lines, but the fertilizer is the key one. We've come out of 5 years of oversupply in the market. The next 5 years is likely to be a little bit undersupplied, so there's less new capacity coming on than there is growth in demand. This early spring was delayed because of weather, and so that's going to have some very short-term impact. But it's interesting, the agricultural products sector has been one that underperformed for a long time, and we're seeing pricing move higher now. And so I think that this could be an interesting play. I'd love to see it trade north of $73 technically. That would break the stock out of a range that it's been in for some time. So you might wait if you were a new buyer and see the stock break out. If you're a holder, I would stay with it because I think dynamics in the sector are getting better.
We've got Joe standing by in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Joe, you're on the air.
Yes, hi. Question is on the Canadian National Railway. Should I stick with it? And can you give me your outlook for it? Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
So I like the rails. We like the fact that the dynamics moving more freight to rail continues to be powerful. I'm going to use one of the rails as my top pick today.
Okay.
It's not going to be CNR, but I think that CNR is a great company. I just think you might have a better opportunity in one of the other names. But the group as a whole, again, does not point to recession. They're trading pretty close to the highs, and have had a wonderful rebound off the lows in December, easily taking out the highs from last year, which some of the leadership groups should be doing. And so I think this is a group you want to focus in. You know, when you have a bull market correction like you had in 2018 or like you had in 2014-15, just to put a point on this, since 1950, there have been 14 corrections of between 12 and 20%. The average bull market correction was 19.9%. They happened generally between 8 and 10 months in length. When they ended, of the 14, the average return before the next bull market correction was 89% over 30 months. So I know the markets had a great bounce off the lows in December when people thought we were heading to some kind of market cratering. We've only begun what is likely to be 4 steps forward. So for the groups that have been able to easily make a new high, especially those that are economically sensitive, those are the groups that are likely to lead going forwards. So I think that the rails are a group that you want to be focused in. CNR you're going to do well with. I think we might do a little better with another name, but you know they're both going to do well.
Okay, we'll have more on David's rail pick later. Sebastian in Burlington, Ontario, go ahead, please.
Got two questions for you. First, I'd like your opinion on all the excitement on cryptocurrency. And if somebody wanted to play the space in Canada, what ETF would you recommend that is, I guess, fairly safe and quite liquid? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen to your answer.
Well, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Look, the cryptocurrencies obviously had a very difficult year last year. You know, to disclosure, I've not invested in cryptocurrencies. Okay. This is not our focus. But having said that, seeing recently gold start to lift and the cryptocurrencies start to lift again, the first thing that points to is the fact that we are likely seeing a relative near-term high in the U.S. dollar versus other currencies. Okay, so I think there's a message in that. There are a lot of people who are big believers in cryptocurrencies. For us, it's difficult to invest in for our clients because, well, for lots of reasons. But that being said, I think that they have a place, maybe less so for us, where we have great banking systems.
Yeah.
But in countries where there's no stable currency, where there's poor banking systems, I can understand why there would be a flight towards things that they feel can hold some value. So I don't have a recommendation in the group. I will say technically, from a price perspective, which is one of the ways you can look at these things, you know, they do look as though they've started another leg higher and that this could go on for some time. And if the US dollar is topping out, which it has topped out around this level 4 times in the last 5 years, you're likely to see emerging markets do better, you're likely to see commodities do better, you're likely to see cryptocurrencies do better, you're likely to see gold do better. So I think it's worthwhile to look at the space. I don't have a recommendation in the space.
Oh, okay, Sebastian, thanks very much. Jerry in Toronto is watching a stock that's in the news today. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, David and Andy. Yes, my question's about Boeing. I originally purchased it in around the 335 mark and just have a small position. And, of course, been watching it go up and down like a yo-yo. And, of course, it's in the news. My question to you is, do you own it? Would you buy more? Would you hold? Would you sell it, given that it seems to be in the news a lot? Right. And what do you think about it fundamentally? And, Andy, if you could give us consensus, I'd appreciate it. Thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks very much. Boeing. Okay,
so you have to pick your timelines, right? We don't own it as a firm. I own some personally. Here's what I'd say about Boeing. They are the absolute leader in their space. There's 2 companies. There is nobody who can take over their production of planes going forward in the near term. So they have a near-term problem. And 2 things I'd take away. First of all, the stock has been remarkably resilient given the concerns that people have about what's going on with their planes, which tells you the street believes they will fix this, right? Now, technically, when the stock broke above $360, technically it became more attractive to me. I think that this is a great long-term hold, but I think that we're going to continue to be in the near term affected by news flow. My own opinion is the upside opportunity way outdoes the downside risk currently in the stock, but we have to watch. You know, things can get worse. You're going to get new information. And in the near term, if I was a holder, I would hold the stock. If I was willing to take some risk, I'd buy the stock here because I think that you're buying a world-class company in an industry that has secular growth attached. It is not, commercial air travel is not going to slow down. It's going to continue to accelerate around the world, and there's only 2 companies that can supply these planes, and Boeing is one of them.
Okay. Jerry, thanks very much indeed for the question. And of course, Boeing in the news today because American regulators apparently finding yet another glitch with the 737 MAX, another software problem delaying potentially its return to service.
and the stock's down 2%.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, that's right. So the street, pretty cool, relatively speaking. There are 18 buys, but there's now 10 holds and 2 sells. Average target on Boeing, $425. And the shares, as we just saw, trading around 366 right now. We'll be back with David Burrows. He's taking your questions on North American large caps. Give him a call, 1-855-326-6266.